should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood, feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Yeah, hey, every day can be a better day despite the challenge. All you got.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Sunday. You're listening to Whatever Works on KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM. I'm your host, Sam Works.
I'm Kyle Kerrigan.
And I'm Ken Kerrigan.
And Joe, he's a little shy, but he's in the background. He's making all the magic happen here, eating his weekly pasta. Way to go. We also have Ashley in the building. Woo-woo. I hope you guys are enjoying your Sunday. It's going to start cooling off from now to the rest of the night, right? It's been hot all day, but luckily it cools off at night, depending where you are. You know, if you're out in Yucaipa, shout out to Yucaipa. It's a beautiful town. It's cooling down. If you're here in Redlands, you might be out of luck. It's probably going to stay warm throughout the night.
Yeah, if you're in the hot
I'm no weatherman, but that's just how it is. I was watching the news, was it this morning? And everything was like cooling down to 86. Like, this is at night, obviously, not during the day. During the days, we're hitting triple digits everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
107.
Yeah. And it was like 86 here at like, you know, Santa Barbara and Malibu, you know, near like the beaches areas. It's getting a little warmer and towards the center, but then like Palm Springs are just like 40 degrees hotter than all the other places that they had on the news. I was like, dang, that's crazy. At night, too. And so it's pretty interesting. So if you guys are in Palm Springs or going on your way to Palm Springs, make sure you cool off on the inside. They probably still have misters going on even at night. Yeah. You know how it is. But before we jump into our show, we do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor.
SNJRadio.com. No negative news, no politics, just feel good music.
Just feel good music. Yeah, check it out, guys. We have, so we do positive.
Yeah, so we do positive affirmations.
Positive affirmations,
and
yeah.
So
on SNJ Radio. So check it out. He plays music more than just 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000, whatever it is. It can even be like Joe's music. I don't know. Joe, have you ever tuned in SNJ Radio? Business of conflict. I get you. Kind of, sort of? Yeah, a little bit. I know I have. Have you? Have you checked it out? Yeah. So it's pretty good. They play all sorts of music. It's the one radio show that doesn't really have like a genre. It's just like, hey, what can we play? What's new out there? And speaking about what's new out there, Kyle and I, we do want to get together and collab with all the new artists and even the recent artists out here, just here locally and everywhere, honestly. Everyone who's listening, who supports us, who likes us, who is making music, who is motivated to get their music out here on the radio as long as it's appropriate, right? We're going to be doing a new music hour.
Yeah.
We haven't figured out how we're going to play it all out, but it's going to be the end of this month?
It's either the end of this month or the first week of September.
Yeah. We're honestly, I've been slacking. We usually do it in July. I think last year we did it in June, July.
Yeah, last year we did in June.
Yeah. So but we've been busy. Our lives have changed, you know.
True.
The most craziest quote I've heard, it's not even a quote, it's just what my friend told me 2 years ago. He says, maybe it wasn't 2 years ago, but he said a lot can happen in 2 years, right? And every time I think about that, I think about what happened 2 years ago. And then even from that point, what happened two years prior to that, you know what I mean?
A lot.
And a lot can happen in 2 years. So from this point forward, you say, hey, a lot can happen in 2 years. Imagine, like, you can't even imagine what's going to happen in 2 years.
Right, exactly.
Like, how old are you, Kyle?
I'm 27.
27. In 2 years, you're going to be 29, turning 30.
That's great.
Like, that right there is a milestone.
Yeah.
Pops, how old are you?
65.
60, you'll be 67. That means you get all the benefits.
I wish.
And worse. Yeah, well, I mean, it just happens, you know. That's just part of it. But, you know, it is Sunday, and today I had the chance to go to my church that I've been longing for a long time now, ever since I started serving, which is like my evening job. But he's been coming back. He's been cutting back my days. Horrible. I mean, the way I look at it, maybe, you know what I mean? Because I do real estate during the day. So it's like, okay, he's cutting back my days for serving so I can maybe focus more on real estate. Like, that's what I tell myself. You know, you got to stay positive. But the good thing is he's giving back my Sunday, so I got to go to church today. And I hate, bro, like sometimes I fall asleep in church.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. it's not because of church. It's if I'm sitting still, my body just shuts down. Like that's why like when I first started reading as a kid, when I first started reading as a kid, like I'm not moving, so then my body just starts to go to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So at church, I'm not moving, I'm not talking, I'm trying to pay attention. But then after like 20, 30 minutes, like being completely still, my body just starts to like shut down. Like I can go to sleep pretty easily at night. All I gotta do is just don't move. You know? That's why I love car rides. Like car rides, I fall asleep. Dentist, bro, I'll be sitting in the dentist chair waiting for the dentist to come in, whatever, and I just start snoozing off. Like it's so weird. It's not a problem. It's not a problem at all. But today
That sounds like one.
Seriously, that
Yeah.
and that's another thing. If I'm driving like anything more than like 2 hours, right? Then I start having a problem.
Yeah.
You know? So but like that's where I get my best ideas though, is when I'm driving. Like no music, no nothing, silence. As long as I know where I'm going, my destination, if it's a long drive, my mind just starts brainstorming, scattering, you know. But I got to go to church today, which was really awesome. Unfortunately, I didn't really show my best, interest in it because I started like dozing off. I was so mad at myself. I was like, oh, I hate it. But I thought it was interesting because the pastor was talking about money, whether you love God or you love money, you're a slave to money or whatever the case was,
Right.
And there were some points that he brought up, and I mean he said the message how he wanted to express it, which was great. But I was sitting there and I was like, I wanted to say something, like I wanted to bring something up, That's just me. But because there's a saying where people say it all the time, like, oh, money is the root of all evil, right? False. That is unfinished because you're missing the beginning part. It's the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
That's when everything else, family, friendship, health, like everything starts falling apart. Even God, like if you're so focused on money and trying to make money and there's no purpose behind it other than you just love money, then everything else falls behind,
Yeah, for sure. I worked 2 jobs for years. Never home.
Yeah.
Not good. If I was doing it all over again, it'd be the opposite.
Really?
I'd want to be home more.
I mean, they always say like grass is always greener on the other side. You know what I mean? But like you've accomplished and you have done so much in your life, and probably because you've been working 2 jobs, the things that you had and the things that you gotten because you had the money or because you've been working. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I always think about like people always think like what they don't have, but it's like, why don't you look back at the things you do have?
Yeah, well, I never thought I'd have a heart attack and stroke at 42. And that was it. That was the end of my working. Never worked a day after that.
Yeah, no, 42 is really young.
Yeah.
Like 40 is the new like 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Late 20s or things like that,
Well, I mean, I feel 40. I'm 27.
But you're still a teen, dog. No, I'm just kidding. And that's like the older people get, like that age bracket moves up as well.
Yeah.
Like society does not help. The government does not help when it comes to like, oh, now you can retire no longer at 50, 55, 60. You got to be like 65, 67.
Yeah. I can't retire until I'm 66 and a half. That's what they told me. I was all gun-ho at 65, and they said, nope, it ain't happening.
And then guess what? You're going to be 66 and a half, and they're going to bump it up to 73.
Yeah.
You're like, what?
What?
I'm not doing this. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And I want to talk a little bit. Okay, money, I want to talk about that. There's a couple things I wanted to talk about. But stability. Okay, something happened in my family recently, and I kind of already knew like the whole principle. Like you can do 2 routes, right? You can be an entrepreneur, start your own business and build it up and really risk it all, or you can be a intrapreneur where like you're in a business and you just climb your way to the top, you know. And most people pick that route. It's safe, you're secure, things, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
However, it's not safe. Like it's not like a family member of mine. he got promoted, he moved up, he's doing good. You know, things were looking great for the family, like, you know, as far as like him and stuff. I just got a call like last week, and they were like, "Hey, he got laid off." Bro, by surprise.
Been there, done that.
You know what I mean?
Went to work and the door's locked. No
warning.
No warning.
No nothing.
That morning.
And the thing is, it's like if you started your own business, at least you can see that coming.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like,
Yeah.
okay, this is really like failing, or like I like you gotta take accountability if you're starting your own business. You gotta be like, okay, obviously I'm not doing something right, or I'm missing something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you can beat yourself up for it. But the worst thing is when you have no control and you just lose it all.
Yep.
You know? You can't blame anybody. I mean, you can't blame yourself,
No,
right?
no.
But blaming other people and blaming society and everything other than yourself is like the worst thing you can do. It
Right.
really is.
Yeah.
You know? And like I started my business and I'm doing a bunch of other things and I'm just like, I'm young, so I can take a lot of risk. You know, I can lose over and over and over and over and over again. Hopefully not that many times.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I just think about it sometimes, and I know some people who are getting older and they need to work. They need to continue working, you know?
Yeah, you see those old people at Walmart,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
the
80s, 90 years old.
And it's because they have to.
They have to. I asked them, why are you still working? I have to.
Imagine if they can't. Then what happens?
Like me.
You know? Well, you're always taking care of Ken. You know, you take care of us, we take care of you. That's just it's kind of how we roll here. But
Yeah.
no, it's tough. Like society is tough, and when the pastor was talking about today, I think it was like one thing that got me going. It was Psalms or Proverbs like 12:11, you know, chapter 12, verse 11, and it says, "Gain all you can." That was it. Just those 3 words. Gain all you can. Okay, 4 words. That was pretty motivating. You know what I mean? I was like, yeah, just take it all. You know, conquer the world type stuff. But that's not what that's not what the passage meant, because a lot of people, they just take one like
Yeah.
context.
No, you got to read before.
Yeah,
and
after.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was gain all you can, save all you can, and give all you can. You know, those were things.
Yeah.
But on the board, it was just like basically just take it all. I'm like, yeah, it got me all excited.
Yeah. and then-
But what he was talking about was like one thing that where I wanted to stand up and raise my hand is when he was talking about, you know, loving money so much that it affects your health, or it damages your body. That's the word he uses. Damages your body. And the example he gave was, you know, like porn histories. You know, I thought you were about to give me a no on that. But in my terms, like the way I was thinking about it, I was like, when you're focused so much on business, your health starts declining. You don't eat that, like, you don't eat as much. You stop going to the gym.
Yeah,
like
you don't
these are
eat
things
right.
that I can personally relate to, you know. And so I was like, that's where I was like, what about, you know what I mean? Like I wanted to jump in and talk about that. But to give you a good example, like why people in prison are just like yoked, like they're jacked. Like one of the reasons is because they get 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people in society, like they forget to either like have breakfast or have lunch or have dinner
Yeah.
because they're everywhere. You know what I mean? They're not static. They're just running around doing what they feel like they need to do and take care of things, and then they forget to eat. You know? And that's one thing about like money. When you're chasing money, you're not thinking about anything else. You're not thinking about God, for one, which is the biggest
that's
problem.
the biggest thing. Yeah.
For 2, relationships, you know. You know, and then like 3, like family, wealth, and health, you know, all that
Yeah.
good stuff. And so that's what he was trying to like push towards. And but in today's society, like what you just talked about, you know, people in their 80s still working because they have to. You know, now it's like, okay, you know, if working hard got you rich, everyone working from 9 to 5 would be rich.
Right.
You know, but that's just not how. Like that's what they like perceive it. Like they try to make you think.
No.
But that's just not it. That's not the truth. That's not the reality. You know what I'm saying? Like what's crazy to me is a lot of these kids nowadays who are like on TikTok and social media,
Uh-huh.
bro, they making millions.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, do you deserve all those millions? Like, you know, like the 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, even up to like 20, 25, like,
Yeah.
do you really like have that maturity or have that discipline, or like, do you really need all that money? You know what I mean? Like, most people don't even need millions of dollars.
Right.
I mean, it's always a goal. It's always something that we, you know, strive for. But then these little kids, the little teenagers are getting it. And you're just like, that's crazy,
Yeah.
you know? So it starts to make me think like, okay, how can, for one, I think if God was like, hey, you can handle millions of dollars, I would have it by now. I really think that, you know? But I already know myself. I like to, if I have money or I feel like I have like, you know, some deep pockets, I like to be, I like to spend it on my people, you know? And then I'm always back down to ground zero, you know?
Yeah,
Yep.
see, like, if I had all that money, like I'd be one of those people who would go out, get a whole bunch of food and give it out.
Right.
You know, I'd give it out,
Like, have you ever wondered how much money you have accumulated your whole life? Like, if you didn't spend a dime, like, how much money you think you would have? And I know we're young, you know, you and I, but like, Ken, how much money you think you would have over, like, from the day you got $1 and you didn't spend a dime? Probably a lot.
It'll be over millions.
Millions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so, like, with me, it's like, I wouldn't say millions for me, but you know what I mean? Like, maybe close to $1 million.
Right. Yeah.
But how much do I have now? Not that, you know? And
Well,
so,
say I've been working for 10 years,
10 years.
and so
On paper? Like, I'm sure you did, like, side hustles as a kid,
yeah, no,
chores, and...
I worked at Valero. I did stocking, so I stocked the shelves, and then, you know, I was cleaning around the pumps because my cousin at the time worked there, and she was really cool with the owner. And so for those was like 2 or 3 years, every weekend I'd go over there,
Yeah.
Really?
and it was straight cash. And then
Nice, dude.
for my first job, on my 18th birthday, I worked there for a month before I went to college, or 2 months. So I was a
Wow.
cashier.
No kidding.
But I wasn't allowed to be a cashier until I turned 18
Okay.
because, you know,
Legal reasons.
yeah.
Yeah. I remember, like, us being... We went really, like... We had a walnut tree. Me and my brothers. You know, like, the family had a walnut tree.
Yeah.
And, bro, grocery bags full of walnuts.
Uh-huh.
And apricots, too.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
plums.
Yep.
We had 3 trees in the front: walnut, apricot, and plums, and we used to sell them $5 a bag around our whole block. We're like 9 years old, dude.
Yeah.
No parents. We're just, hey, we got, you want like a bag of walnuts? Like, what do you need a bag of walnuts for? You know, unless you can like bake it or something. But bro, little kids, we're little.
Oh,
you know.
yeah. No, I sold the marshmallow guns at
You sold marshmallow guns?
I never told you this story.
No.
This was
Ken,
Catholic
did you
school.
know about this?
Nope.
You know, I'm surprised. I'm pretty sure I told you or Mom told you because
Okay.
the story ended up getting me expelled from St. Adelaide.
Oh, yep.
Yeah.
I remember.
Rings a bell. Expelled? Yep.
So this was like 5th grade, and Call of Duty came out. It was the craze. So we were making marshmallow guns. Can't get our hands on real guns, right? Because we're 5th graders. So I made marshmallow guns, and I had someone get the material. I had someone else mark it. I had someone else, you know, help sell, and I was the one that made them. So I made like snipers, pistols, like marshmallow guns. And I must have made like $700
No kidding.
in 3 months. And they confiscated it, had to sit down. They said if I did it again, they would expel me, and I did it again.
Of course.
Um,
He said, I still got 30 guns.
But this is what got me expelled. So I did it again, and I wasn't thinking. I was disruptive growing up because I had like super ADHD. Like I just couldn't sit still. So I was always sat by the teacher. So I was making marshmallow guns at my desk, next to the teacher. Not the brightest
You
idea.
just couldn't help yourself, huh?
And the teacher called the cops, but didn't specify I was making marshmallow guns. She said guns. And so Highland PD came in, broke into the classroom, and I got choke slammed by the sergeant. Asking me where the guns are. I said I don't have guns. I have marshmallow kids. He's asking me where the guns are. I'm in 5th grade, and so he has me against the wall. They were searching my desk, my backpack, everyone around the classroom, and they found the marshmallow guns. And so we went to the office and called my mom, and so I told my mom about it. She came down. Obviously, she was upset. And if you know her, anything about her, when she gets upset, it's 11 out of 10. So that escalated, and they made the agreement. It was like charges wouldn't be made or whatever.
Why would there be charges, first of all,
Yeah. Well, I guess, it's also illegal to sell things to kids as a kid or something. I don't know.
Selling minors to minors.
Yeah.
Guns to minors.
And so it was dropped. They said,
But they expelled you, though?
yeah, they said that was the caveat, was that I had to get out.
No. I know.
And
Dang.
so,
You're a little hustler, though.
Yeah, this was 5th grade. Yes.
Wow. What made you, is it because of your Call of Duty came out and you're like, I want to...
It was the craze. Everyone was talking about it.
And
It
you say,
was
hey, I got
the-
some Call of Duty marshmallow guns.
Well, look at these kids nowadays play Fortnite, Roblox, whatever. It's just big. Like
Right.
every kid knows those games. So every kid knew Call of Duty when they came out because it was big. Multiplayer came out. It was like a really big time for video games in general.
And you said, this is the perfect time.
I'm right.
I'm going to make millions.
I probably made the first time it was like $700 and something, and the second time was like $400.
Really?
And I asked for my money back, and they're like, "We can't give you your money back." The cops are like, "You can't sell the kids stuff to kids." Like,
Wow. The cops probably had a pretty
yeah.
good lunch.
Oh yeah.
so that was like $1,100 to $1,300 that I made.
Wow.
And my friends were pissed because they didn't
They
get
bought
paid.
him, but
Yeah,
they already spent the money.
And because the whole thing got confiscated, I was trying to explain to them, I didn't get paid either.
Yeah, no,
but,
seriously.
But then they're like, "Well, we didn't get paid." I was like, "Well, I didn't get paid. They took the money." And so yeah, but
Little entrepreneur, dude.
yeah,
If I was your dad, I would have been like, I'm proud of you, son. Keep it up.
yeah.
Maybe instead of guns, you can sell I don't know, erasers or something. Yeah, that's
something
true.
up.
Yeah.
You can donate. You can donate
Charity.
to the
no,
donate to the company. We can.
You see, if I was a smarter 5th grader, I would have made an LLC. And
I mean, that's a pretty smart 5th grader, though, if you ask me. I mean, guns. That's a little.
Those
rough.
marshmallow guns.
Yeah.
Well, what started the whole thing was a 2nd or 1st grader got an injury to the eye, and so that started the whole investigation. I was just like, so I'm sitting there mad. I'm like, why are 5th graders shooting at
Bro,
1st
you should have
graders?
sold the guns with a pair of glasses. Be like,
Oh,
hey,
yeah, maybe.
here's 2 pairs of glasses. You purchase 1 marshmallow gun.
Yeah.
Buy your own marshmallows.
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, seriously.
Well, that's the thing. We didn't sell the marshmallows. We just sold the guns.
Yeah, so you didn't
Yeah,
sell the ammunition,
no,
right?
No. Because the way I saw it, I said I was going to get in much trouble if I didn't provide the ammunition.
Right.
But I still got in trouble.
It could have been spitballs or something. There could have been anything.
Yeah, no, so... Yeah, I got expelled, and they said I wasn't allowed back. I think the ban ended 2020.
What?
Yeah, they said I wasn't allowed on campus at all. They said it was not-
He's 25 years later, and they're like, no, sir, I'm sorry, you can't.
Can't.
No. We know you.
Even your son can't go.
Yeah.
It was awkward because when one of my grandparents died, they had the funeral at St. Adelaide's. So I went in and I was kind of low key,
Yeah.
But they didn't say nothing
Yeah.
because it's been years, so they
And
wouldn't.
it's a funeral. Bro, if they said anything during a funeral, I've been like, y'all can really just.
Yeah,
I'd be very upset.
yeah.
You know.
And so yeah, they're like, no, you're not allowed on campus. You're not allowed to the church until 2020. And so.
Wow. You should just be the principal of that school. That'll be a good one.
I could.
Yeah,
I could.
run it up.
I
What
don't
about
know.
what about you, Kim? What was your first job? What was your first?
I was about 9, 10, paper boy. Me and my brother, we had 263 papers. We split up. But that sounds like a lot. If you're only making a nickel.
That is a
You're only
lot.
making 2 cents, 5 cents on a paper.
A throw.
You know, and then on Sundays you make 25 cents. You know, that's better, but it's not a lot of money in selling papers.
I mean, at 9 or 10 years old, what do you really need? You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my first motorcycle with that paper out. Kawasaki 90.
Oh, see, that's pretty good.
How old were you?
I was 11.
Seriously. Hey, this family, man. This is you guys are crazy. That's awesome. Though.
Yeah, it was good times.
Yeah, my first job, like I said, I was selling like fruits and walnuts
Yeah.
around the block. But my first legitimate job was Denny's.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to
Yeah.
Denny's and I went to Corky's,
Mhm.
and I had like I tell myself all the time that I don't go backwards. So like if let's say I was a dishwasher, then I moved up to busboy, like I will never be a dishwasher again.
Right.
From busboy to a waiter, I'll never be a busser again, you know? And I remember the day that it was my last day bussing. And it was a cloudy day. It was raining off and on, you know. This is at
Yeah.
Corky's. And the head cook did not like me for whatever reason.
I remember this story. Yeah.
Yep. And he goes, "Hey Sam, go outside and scrub the dumpster floor." I was like, "Are you serious?" He said, "There's a 5-gallon trash can right there. Fill it up with the chemicals and hot water. Take a brush, go outside and scrub the floor." Which is not a covered area, anyways, you know. And I remember going out there and I'm scrubbing the floor and it starts raining, and I look up. This is a Thursday. Like that's how I know that was an important day. You know what I mean? I'm not good with dates. I know you are, Ken, and my dad is. I think it's just like that generation. They're really good with dates. And I was like, never again. You know?
Yeah.
So I scrubbed the dumpster floor, whatever. Like the rain was gonna wash it up anyways, but I never went back. You
Yeah.
know? And so like, but I take that with me with everything that I do, which is probably not a good thing. Let's be realistic. You know, there's some things that, you know, you mess up on, or, you know, it's okay to go back. You
Yeah.
know, like when I moved out of my parents' house, I said, I'm not going back. You know, even if that means I have to be homeless, like I'm not going back, you know. And at one point, I was sleeping in my car for about 2 weeks, you know, and luckily, but unlucky, like I was about to give up right then and there. Not like give up like my life, but like, oh, I'm gonna move back to my parents, you know.
Yeah.
And that was the day Timmy got in his motorcycle accident,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom was like, "Hey, I need you to come back. Like, I need you to help your brother out, you know, help the family."
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And I mean, there was a side of me that was like, of course, you know, and then there's another side of me I was like, thank God, because I was tired of sleeping in the car, you know, like
Yeah.
it's fun, like it's
You went down to the beach and stuff, didn't you?
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah, you
and
were. Yeah.
I didn't have that. I only had a couple $100s in my pocket. I called up my cousin. I love my boy. Called up my cousin. I said, "Hey, you want to bum it at the beach for a couple days?" He said, "Let's do it." So we go down the beach. I think it was the first day. Go down the beach. I park on the spot. The curb wasn't red. There was no sign. It was like 6 a.m. Park at the beach, and I was barefoot. I was like, "We're going to the beach anyways. I might as well be barefoot." We go out. We're at Venice. And we're like, oh, let's watch the sunrise. Like, everyone watches the sunset at the beach. Let's watch the sunrise.
The sunrise is nice.
The sunrise wasn't even a sunrise. Like, it was already bright. Like, outside, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because, like, the sun didn't, like, peek over the buildings or the hills
Right.
yet. But it was already bright. I was like, well, this sucks, you know?
Yeah.
8 o'clock rolls by. I walk back to my car to, like, grab whatever I needed to grab. And I'm, like, looking. I'm like, where's my car? I was like, this is where I park. I was like, there's no way. Like, this is not happening.
Yeah, I remember this.
And
yeah.
I look to my left, and I see this tow truck about half a street down. And I'm barefoot. I'm running, right? I'm trying to make sure I stop the guy on the tow. I stop him. I'm like, hey, I'm all breathing. I'm like, did you guys take a car right down the street? It was a burgundy Honda. He's like, well, if you parked it right there, then yeah, we took it. He's like, or another tow company took it. He's like, you can try our tow yard. Here's my card. You know, go over there.
I remember that, yeah.
Barefoot, no vehicle. It was like 2.5 miles.
Yeah.
Man, the ground started warming up. Man, I built some calluses on my feet for sure. And I remember I went to the tow yard, and they were like, yeah, it's $375 to get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, you have your ID? And I was like, checking my pockets.
It's in
my
the
wallet's
car.
in the car. I was
Yeah.
like, I promise you, that's my car. The wallet's in there, you know. And on top of that, you get a ticket, you know. The $375 was just to get the car out.
Yeah.
Then you get a ticket for violating.
Yeah.
And I think I had like $60 left after everything happened. And I still spent 2 more days at the beach. I got my car back.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, this was probably stupid of me. But I was walking down Venice, and this guy was playing guitar. The other guy was playing, like, the banjo or whatever. And he was playing guitar, and it was just like vibrating my soul. Like, I was so starstruck, and I knew he was in a worse position than I was. And I had one $20 bill left in my wallet, and I gave it to him. I was like, bro, like, that touched my heart. I was like, you deserve it more than I do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just struggling.
Yeah.
But, like, he's in a pretty tough spot. And with the last $60, I came back to Ukaipa.
Yeah.
You
We
know?
had gas.
I'm like, that's it. I filled up my tank. I filled up my car as much as I could, and I headed back to Ukaipa. You know, and but it was still one of the most memorable moments, which is crazy because if you really think about it, most of our memorable moments are like when we go through something pretty extravagant.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, I have an uncle, when he got out of service, World War II, he worked from Massachusetts, and he took the little money he had, took a bus, California. Couldn't find a job, so he was living on the streets. And then he finally got little jobs, living in little shacks. Now he's a multimillionaire. It just goes to show you, you never know what your life's going to be.
Yeah. All right, you guys, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, but when we come back, we're going to continue our conversation. Thank you guys for tuning in. You're listening to Whatever Works on KCAA. Stay tuned. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in Durga, walk around the neighborhood.
From the Bureau of Economic Geology, this is Earth Date. In 1816, half a foot of snow fell in New England. That would be completely unremarkable, except that it was in one day, in June. The same summer, Mary Shelley spent a chilly vacation holed up indoors and used the time to write Frankenstein. Crops failed around the world, plunging Thomas Jefferson into serious debt for the rest of his life. Oats became scarce in Germany, making horse travel expensive and leading to the invention of the bicycle. Struggling farmers in China began raising opium, giving rise to a drug trade that has lasted to modern times. And famine in many areas led to widespread disease, including a cholera outbreak that killed millions. What was the cause of all this chaos? A year earlier, a volcano erupted in Indonesia. Larger than Krakatoa, Vesuvius, or Mount St. Helens, Mount Tambora erupted for 2 weeks straight. Around it, nearly 100,000 people died, buried under thick layers of ash like in Pompeii. Greenhouse gas emissions from the eruption, which could have warmed the atmosphere, were offset by particulates and sulfur dioxide gas. Ash and dust blocked out the sun temporarily, darkening skies around the world. The sulfur dioxide was longer lasting, becoming aerosols that reflected the sun's heat for 3 years. This turned 1816 into the year without summer, as it was called, with long-term global effects. The good news? The atmosphere recovered within a decade, and life went back to normal. I'm Scott Tinker.
Earth Date is produced by the Bureau of Economic Geology at the University of Texas at Austin. Earth Date is researched by Julie Hennings, written by Harry Lynch, and distributed by Mark Blunt and Casey Walker. For more stories, follow us on Facebook or visit earthdate.org.
Our food supply is facing total destruction. Big Ag and Big Farm are using new CRISPR technology to genetically modify every fruit, vegetable, and grain. It's so bad that the FDA just approved the first GMO cow for human consumption. At Joseph's Organic Bakery, we never use GMO hybridized flour. We bake like 1,000 years ago. We only use non-GMO ancient grains that we grind ourselves, never commercial flour. Proper bread is medicine. To learn how our bread can transform your health, give us a call at 954-541-4062 or visit our website at veganbakerymiami.com. That's 954-541-4062.
Hey, Southern California, you know what's going on. It's my new hit show, The Scene with Doreen, and I'm your host, Doreen Taylor. Join me every week as I chat with my celebrity friends from TV, movies, music, theater, sports, and everything in between. We explore the lives and careers of some of the entertainment industry's biggest names, with some fun surprises, too. Tune in to The Scene with Doreen Tuesdays at 7 a.m. on KCAA Radio, 1050 a.m.
Have you had your insurance policy canceled or non-renewed? Tune into Insurance Hour with host Carl Sussman. Carl takes your questions live and helps you understand what you can do. Call 559-656-0317 or email your questions to questions@insurancehour.com. If you need someone right away, dial pound 250 and use keyword insurance. Insurance Hour is the only radio show syndicated across California, reaching more than 30 million listeners. If you miss the show live, you can find it on YouTube or your favorite podcast application.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Yeah, hey, every day can be a better day.
All right, guys, welcome back, everybody. Happy Sunday. You know what show this is. This is the show where we talk about whatever works, because that's the name of the game. I'm your host, Sam Works.
I'm Kyle Kerrigan.
And I'm Ken Kerrigan.
So we have our co-host and our co-co-host today. You know.
Co-co-host.
Our wingman, our middleman, right? Get it?
Yeah.
We want to thank everyone for listening and participating and attending the show and just supporting the show. My girlfriend, she's forced to be here, so just kidding.
Yeah,
she'd rather be sleeping right now. But, oh, man, I just want to jump around with so many things.
There's a couch right there.
Yeah, no, there is. But if you guys are just tuning in and you guys missed our first half of the show, please go back and listen to it. You guys can go on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, all that good stuff. All you got to do is look up KCAA, whatever works. And before we jump into the conversation, I do want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor,
SNJRadio.com. No negative news, no politics, just feel good music.
Feel good. Anyway, so before we went on break, Ken was mentioning, who was it?
Your uncle.
My uncle.
His
Uncle
uncle.
Jerry.
Uncle Jerry. You want to recap real quick?
Yeah, he got out of the service, World War II, and he took whatever little money he had, took a bus from Massachusetts to California. Couldn't find a job. Then he's doing little jobs. So he got a hotel room on and off, getting thrown out because of too many people in the room, you know. And now he's a multimillionaire. Never got married. He's leaving everything to the government, to the vets.
Yep.
Everything.
And that's one of the things I wanted to tag along with before we went on break. There seems to be a pattern, right? And some patterns are broken or different, but the reality is a lot of people who make it to the top literally start from the bottom.
Yeah.
Like, not start in the middle, not, they're not spoon-fed, all that good stuff. Like, literally from the bottom, zero, from square one. Yeah. And I think it's because they know the struggle, they know the attachment when it comes to, like, how much it affects them, mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, emotionally, you know, and they don't want to go back. They don't want to be in that position.
No.
You know, no one asked to be like, hey, I want to be poor.
Yeah, he's very frugal now.
Yeah, I believe it.
He's got so much money. He just, I used to go down and visit him. He's in a dark place right now. He just wants to be left alone in the house. Dark. He won't let you in.
Yeah.
He's just in a bad spot.
Right.
But before that, I'd go down and visit him all the time. And we'd go out to these little dumps to eat. I mean, it's not good food,
Right.
you know. Or he'd make food. You know, he never wanted to splurge.
Right.
Hey, let's go to Sizzler or something.
Let's share a plate.
Yeah.
No, but
I miss him.
yeah, and that's just like a reoccurring pattern that I see and that I hear. But you know what's crazy? I was talking to one of my coworkers. She just got hired on, and we're like rolling silverware. So I was like, "Oh, we're talking," and we were talking about imagine having everything you want in life,
Yeah.
and she'd be like, "That would be awesome." And I'd be like, "For how long?" Like how can you like? There has to be a measurement of joy, but only compared to a measurement of like sorrow. You know what I mean? And I gave her the example. I said, you know, kids, oh, I want a trampoline, I want a trampoline. And then they get a trampoline and they only jump on it for like 3 months. Or like, oh, I want a pool. And then you just don't use the pool after a while.
Right.
You know? So it's like, imagine if you had everything you wanted. You know?
Yeah.
Like, they wouldn't be good. I feel like you have to have a purpose behind everything.
Yeah, I have a few friends at church. They're multimillionaires, and 2 of them, you wouldn't even know it. They drive old trucks, flannel shirts, and just, you would never know he's a millionaire. And he owns like 3,000 acres in Montana. I mean, he's got all kinds of stuff, but he doesn't have stuff that you could see. He doesn't drive Ferraris. And his house is moderate. You know, it's probably $1 million house, but now, when he bought it, it's probably 40,000. So you got guys like that real frugal, that watch their money, and then you got other guys that spend money like they'll spend $100,000 on a Mustang, '68 Mustang. I go, what? I paid $250 for mine.
You know? Like, what happened?
Yeah.
You know,
What's the difference?
What's going on?
Yeah. What's new?
You know, so
Yeah.
you got guys like that that just throwing their money
Yeah.
away. So
And I think the reason why I brought up that conversation when I was talking to my coworker is because we're talking about like, oh, I did auditions when I was younger, you know, try to be a movie star. And I was like, I don't really know if I want that lifestyle. Like, there's no privacy.
Yeah. Oh,
You know?
no, yeah.
And I started talking about, well, you get a lot of money. Yeah, that's cool. Like Johnny Depp. I saw this video and Johnny Depp was talking about, like, he doesn't fly a commercial anymore.
No.
Because there's so many paparazzis, like, you know, like
Oh,
following
yeah.
him, taking photos. He's like, so I had to buy myself a private jet. And I was like, is he bragging or complaining?
he's complaining.
It is a $50 million private jet.
You know what's crazy that I found out about him?
Hmm.
He used to replace the animatronic at the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yes. Yes.
Like 3 days out of the week.
uh-huh.
So the amount of times that we would have went to, like,
It was
I for
probably
sure
actually
saw him.
Yeah. What's really cool is during that video that I saw, he was also talking about where they shot Pirates of the Caribbean, like the first one. He loved that island so much,
Yeah.
he bought it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He
The
bought,
whole island?
bro.
Yeah.
He bought that whole island where they shot Pirates of the Caribbean because he fell in love with it.
Yeah.
But
That's a
it's
boss.
like just having that power to,
Yeah.
like, to do that. You know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that's not what buys you happiness.
No.
I mean, for sure, it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong. And like Wolf of Wall Street, they always say, I'd rather cry in a limousine than cry in a bus or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't buy happiness.
Right.
You know, and I told you this, Ken, last week. I said, money isn't everything, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I also think about it, you know, money amplifies who you truly are.
Yeah.
You know, there's a story of someone who I know who got married and very loyal, made a lot of money. Then he cheated on her, and she was like, "Oh, he's a cheater now because he has money." And it's like, no, he just has the tool and the power to be a cheater.
Yeah.
He's always been a cheater. He just didn't have the ability to be one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It really shows who you are. Like, surfaces you up, you know? And, like, a lot of people who don't have money, they're always humble. You know? It's like, hey, you don't be materialistic. Don't do that. But I guarantee you it's because they don't have money. You know what I mean? Like, I think about it. Like, I'm not really a car guy. I never was. I always had, like, crappy cars. But the moment I got, like, a decent car, I'm kind of a little car guy. I'm like, oh, you know? It's like
You got a little Toyota?
Right. Yeah, seriously. It's showing my true colors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a lot of people think, that's when I go back to it, like, money is the root of all evil. No, it's not. It's the love of money. But, like, money does a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing that my pastor was talking about today, which I totally disagree with, because he was talking about, once you accumulate so much money, you start destroying relationships, you start being selfish, you start doing this and this. And I'm like, no, because there's plenty of rich people who are nice, generous, considerate, always there to help.
Mr.
Like,
Beast.
It's not just like you have money, so now you're, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. Shaq's another one.
Yeah.
Shaq just he's got more money than anything, and he invests in people.
See, he had a good financial advisor.
He did,
and I always recommend getting a financial advisor.
Yeah.
But like Shaq's a great example.
Yeah.
Because he would have been the 60% of professional people who will probably end up working at Walmart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because when he first started making all that money, he bought himself a Mercedes and he bought his dad a Mercedes. They came home and then his mom was like, "Where's mine?" So he went back, got another Mercedes. You know what I mean? And then his financial advisor was like, "What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're just going out spending all this money."
Yeah.
Like a lot of the times, especially in the music industry, they will loan you that much money first. Like, oh, okay, here's $100 million. You didn't make it off all those shows and stuff. Like, they give you that money first, and then with everything that you do, all your merchants, all your sponsorships and everything, and then that's when they start, like, collecting all that money.
And the percentage.
A percentage plus surplus plus, all that. And so, you have to be, like, literate.
Right.
Literate.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't really speak today. But it's people they have to have a better understanding of who they are, first of all. Like people who win the lottery when they start off poor, most 9 times out of 10 go back to being poor.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not because, if I had this much money, this is what I would do. No, you just have bad habits, first of all.
Yep.
And that's what brings me up to when I was talking about earlier today, like God, like if I would have $1 million now if God really was like, hey, you deserve $1 million, and I always go back to that Bible verse, the one who controls his soul will have the keys to the city. Because how can you control a business, a city, a relationship, or anything if you can't even control yourself? How can you control your money, where your money's going? Like, if you don't know where your money's going, you shouldn't start a business. No. I mean, I'm there. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, sometimes I'm like, where did all my money go? At the end of the month, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. But at least I'm aware, and I'm trying to, like, navigate through it and try to figure it all out.
Yeah. Definitely.
So I'm not going to talk for the rest of the show because I feel like I talked this whole time.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Kyle.
For me, I think, when it comes to money and investing, like, investing is the biggest thing. Because, like, all these, like, superstar athletes, all the ones that actually made it, invest in other things. Like, Shaq, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady. They're all investing their money, what they made. And I saw a TikTok today. I can't remember the player, but he's homeless. Yeah, he played and he got a ring with Steph Curry on the what's it called, the Warriors. So he played for the Warriors and he's homeless, and it was a TikTok video. Someone saw him, recognized him, and recorded a conversation with him, and he was talking with the kids, Got a picture with him, and just went down this whole tangent, like, Just because you also get to that opportunity doesn't mean you're there.
If I can say something here, a lot of people, I don't like getting political, but he's in politics like Trump, right?
Yeah.
Everyone says like, oh, he only made it because his dad, gave him like a couple $1 million to start. But going back to it, like he could have spent that $1 million and just started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for him to like, okay, use it properly, and was able to gain from that, like it's not just like, oh, he's lucky his parents just gave him money. Like no, like really, like he's lucky that his parents gave him money, but he was able to hold it down and continue to grow it.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just like, oh, he made it. Like that's why we were talking earlier, like those people who win the Powerball, whatever. Like if that was the case, then all those people would still be rich. But it's not.
Right.
You know, you have to have some level of disciplines, some level of knowledge, and some level of like vision for yourself.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, like having a financial advisor is like the biggest thing too. And you know, just knowing what to do with your money is the biggest thing. You know, where to invest. You know, being a property inspector, I actually know a lot about lenders and how that works too. And at first I was confused because I was like, why do a lot of these people have trusts? Like, what is a trust? I didn't even know what that was. A lot of people, it's actually a smart thing to do. You know, when you have a property and you're trying to put it into your family's name, you know, a trust is important. And, and so a lot of people are creating businesses, LLCs, that take over the house and the loan. And I found out that a lot of the times if you don't do that, if you die, the house goes to the bank.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a living trust, and it's all broken up to
Yeah.
who gets what, more or less. Yeah, you got to do it, even if you're your age. It's good to have it don't cost that much, a couple $100,
Yeah.
and it's on record. That they keep a record, and you get a record. Of
And on top of that, the plus side of it is, let's say someone does pass away, you're in a trust, your home value doesn't get reassessed.
Right.
It literally just, the home just goes to you.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say you have a will and you're giving your kids the house, right, through the will. Well, the house is still going to get reassessed.
Yeah.
There's still a process to all that. Like having a trust immediately just transfers title.
Mm-hmm.
In a will, it's like, okay, well, it's like person to person, so we have to go through the whole process, reassess the home value, do
Yeah.
this and do that.
And
Cloud
9
on
times out
title.
of 10, the house value is up than what it was in the
Always.
70s, 60s.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I said always.
Yeah. And so, like, now those kids are now paying more in taxes,
Mm-hmm.
thousands more,
Yeah.
because now the house is worth more, and now,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a sticky situation here in this day and age.
Yeah.
But all right, you guys, our partner Joe just gave us that cue, so we're going to be wrapping it up here. Again, I want to thank everyone for listening and tuning in. Stick around for the Ferran show at 8 o'clock. And, you know, come back next week. Listen to us. If you want to be a sponsor, hit us up. If you want to be a guest, hit us up. And,
Yeah.
Joe, we are going to do that new music hour, so be ready to send in one of your top hits. Until next time, guys, stay blessed. Happy Sunday. I'll see
Yep.
you guys next time.
God bless you.
Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
This segment brought to you by the Mega Mix Expo in Ontario. Do you need to liven things up, get a little juice or energy in your business or program? Coming this Wednesday and Thursday, August 7th and 8th, it's the Mega Mix Expo at the Ontario Convention Centre. Bringing the community together, building new partnerships, helping unlock the power of effective networking. You'll see all kinds of businesses and programs such as accounting services, martial arts, real estate, medical, event services, and everything from A to Z. Whether you're providing creative services, construction, or entertainment, or websites to photography, banks and beyond, you can expand your horizons where potential is nurtured. You'll have the opportunity to explore, learn, and be inspired, where you can discover new prospects to ignite your business or bring new life to your special program, nonprofit, or organization. You can go to megamixexpo.com. That's megamixexpo.com or call 626-268-3590. Join this station at the Megamix Expo, August 7th and 8th at the Ontario